Hello and welcome to 8th and final episode of 2024. Today we are going to be recapping the latest Qatar Grand Prix and the upcoming final race at Abu Dhabi. We will be bringing you our qualifying and race predictions as well as reviewing our hot takes we stated back in episode 1.
Zhou Guan Yu scores Sauber's first point all year.
And it wasn't just 1 point,
4 of them.
4.
Which is the amount of points that Checo has scored in the last 4 races.
That's insane. And Bottas was there in 11th as well.
Yeah, cool down a double points finish.
So close. If Lando, well, obviously Lando had to pit, but if Lando wasn't quick enough, it would have been double points for their first points all year. And now Joe also has the same amount of points as Liam Lawson, and everyone's been praising Liam Lawson for his drive, and
Yeah.
it's a bit crazy.
Gasly obtains a huge P5 finish to keep Alpine ahead of Haas and RB.
That was clutch. That was so clutch. And it's still only 5 points between Haas and Alpine,
Yeah.
but that was just class from him.
I think Gasly's been on something special these past few races. Ever since Brazil, he's just been crazy. He's gone P3 in qualifying in
2 occasions.
in Las Vegas. He did that, but we do not talk about that. That wasn't his fault.
No.
But P5 now, and then podium in Brazil.
And he shooted them as well as Ocon from 9th to 6th, and if he can keep it 6th, he should get a lot of praise for that. Like, he sent a backmarker team from the worst, clearly the second worst team on the grid, to now high, they're still a midfield car, but Gasly's taken them to another level.
And Perez, DNF, I mean, it's just kind of showing that. Get out.
It's
Get out of here.
it's kind of like he's forcing himself out. I don't know what he's doing. I don't know how Red Bull are trusting him. I don't know why they gave him that contract extension. It was the wrong move, and this is just proving it with his poor driving. He's had one good race all year, and he DNF'd in that one, and that was at Azerbaijan,
Yeah.
where he was going to take P3 or P4, and he just goes and drives into Carlos Sainz.
Yeah. Ferrari cut the constructors' lead down to 21 points.
It's still a big gap to overcome, but I'm not taking it out of the picture.
No.
I think
mean, if they
Ferrari
can pick up a 1-2, then they're done.
Yeah, I think 1-2, but also McLaren, they're still gonna be there.
Yeah.
They're very two close teams, and honestly, I agree with you whether you say Ferrari or McLaren win.
Yeah, it couldn't really care less. Ferrari, as we were talking about, do need a big result to steal the constructors.
Yeah, as we were just saying, I think they're going to need to have a double podium and McLaren for them to both be P5 and lower.
Yeah. One thing I do want to say, if Leclerc or Sainz can win in Abu Dhabi, that gets them 25 points, which by itself
Would put them ahead.
But Leclerc needs to either become 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 to seal it off.
Really?
Well, let's say Sainz wins, 25 points.
Yeah.
let's say the
Leclerc, P2, that's 43.
yeah,
And then, P3
and 4 to
is 40 points. P4 is... But still, if Sainz wins and Leclerc comes third, and Piastri and Norris is second and fourth, it's still not going to be enough.
yeah, but it'll be very close.
Yeah.
And if Leclerc wins, then he'll become second in the Drivers' Championship.
Yeah.
Which could be is pretty funny.
Yeah, because Lando Norris, people are saying he's bottling every pole position he gets.
Yeah.
He's bottled his chance at a championship, and if he bottles P2 in the drivers, I think that's going to take a real hit on his mental state.
Yeah. Has to need at least a double podium to finish at 6th in the Constructors' Championship.
Yeah, I don't think they'll get it,
Yeah.
but it's not out of the realm.
It's not out of the chance.
Because 6 points, it's not a lot,
Yeah.
but it's still...
I mean,
It's a lot for a midfield team, and they're just both like average drivers.
I mean, this could be K-Mag's last race.
Most likely is, and he's probably gonna
He's
go
gonna
out there to prove something like he did in Qatar, where he got a nice P9 to keep him in the chance.
And he could just go, I really have nothing to lose right now.
Yeah,
Just bang and go.
and Hulkenberg, like, he hasn't really been there as much.
Yeah.
Like, it might be because he's leaving for another team next
And
season.
he's going to the worst team on the grid right now.
But he's not, like, he hasn't been performing as well as he was in the first half of the season, which he can't really compare to because that first half of the season he was
tragic.
amazing.
Yeah.
This second half, he hasn't been as good, but he's still been consistent enough.
Ocon gets dropped for the final race so that he can do
Postseason,
very, very pre-season tests.
Yeah, it's very strange. For someone who's been at that Alpine team, who's been a midfield team, they've really been getting worse and worse. Fourth in 22, I mean, fifth now. Was ninth, but sixth. And it's very strange.
And I think one of the most heartbreaking things about it was he had a helmet, which I'm sure some of you, if you're on TikTok or YouTube, have seen. He had this helmet that had like the memories of his time at Alpine on the back of it, which I feel like kind of brings a little bit of a tear to your face.
Yeah.
That he isn't able to use that race helmet for them, and that's the way he has to go. But on the plus side for us as Australians, Jack Doohan gets a race in Abu Dhabi.
First race as a F1 driver. He is going to be a very strange race. Like, it's going to be very definitive of how he goes, because if he scores points, he's going to be praised to the moon.
Yeah.
If he gets a DNF, this isn't out of the question for me. If he gets a DNF, Alpine say, sorry mate, you're not good enough. We're taking Colapinto. Unless it's a it's a mechanical DNF, so like not his fault.
Or Perez or someone drives into the back of him because they'll be at the back of the grid together. I don't think that's happening.
No. We'll move on to our race predictions now. P20 for me, ending the season in a very bad way. It's been a bad season for him. Lance Stroll DNFing.
Back-to-back DNFs?
Yeah. He's just... It's Lance.
Low-key.
I have no faith in him. I don't think he deserves to be on the grid.
What I hope I see happen, and what should happen, is Stroll gets the boot from Aston Martin. We'll never see him in F1 again. Colapinto goes into the Aston Martin spot, proves himself with the whole season, and kind of proves himself. And Alonso being the mentor, the youngest rookie on the grid, and then Colapinto, the oldest rookie on the grid, kind of helps them, and then he becomes world title material with Aston Martin with that new car.
You're dreaming. You're dreaming. That will never happen. If Lance Stroll gets dropped, I will. I don't know what I'll do, but it would not be something nice. I would sell my house for $1 if that happened. If Lance Stroll gets dropped from Aston Martin, that would just be insane. And even though there are a lot of shareholders coming in, it's still not happening.
Yeah. My P20, this is a hot take. Hamilton DNFs.
Final race with the most successful team, a DNF. So that's the worst way it could end. Worst possible way.
Now Ferrari's second guessing their choice to
sign him over Sainz, yeah. P19, another very disappointing end to another very disappointing year, and I hope he gets sacked from his position, is Sergio Perez.
Yeah.
He's been, I'm saying back-to-back DNFs for him as well. He's been off the pace all year. He can't do anything. He's just been kind of there.
Lost the constructors for them.
4 points in 4 races, as you said earlier. The same as Joe Guan Yu.
In one race.
And that was their first points all year.
Yeah, that's kind of crazy. And his rival, you could say, Sonoda, DNFing for me.
Yeah. Reasoning?
I don't know. I just think he just gets the DNF. I was like, genuinely, there is no reasoning behind that.
Just happens.
Yeah.
My P18, I've also got them DNFing is Yuki Tsunoda. I think either engine failure or like trying to be too aggressive, because I think Perez will DNF before him in my eyes, and he'll see that like, oh, this is my time to go. I need a good result to get that seat, that Red Bull seat, and I think he goes too aggressive and just like breaks his front wing and can't recover from it, so the team just retire him.
My P18, I have Albon DNFing. I think it's a sad way to end a good season for him.
Yeah.
Williams.
Hasn't been great, but hasn't definitely been a step up from previous years with that team.
Yeah.
Talking about Williams, I've got his teammate Franco Colapinto 17th.
Yeah.
I think they've lost a lot of pace since like that double points finish in Azerbaijan.
Yeah.
And they probably didn't, assume they don't bring an upgrade. I hope they don't. But I just don't see them getting.
It'd be a bit
quicker.
weird to bring an upgrade for the last race of the season.
Yeah.
My P17, I've got Lance Stroll.
Poor.
Yeah, like, there's not much to describe that, but just not good.
Just Lance.
Yeah.
My P16, I've got Franco Colapinto's teammate Alex Albon. Same reason as Colapinto. The team slowed down a lot. The car, it's just not quick enough to do any real damage.
Yeah. My P16, I've got his teammate, Colapinto, just fallen off this kind of back half of the season.
Yeah, just existing again.
Yeah.
P15, the man that's really looking for that Red Bull C, I've got Liam Lawson.
Yeah.
I don't know. I think RB are going to stay 8th. I don't think they have any chance of catching up.
Yeah.
They've definitely looked like they've definitely been the slower team compared to Alpine and Haas.
Yeah.
So I don't think he will do anything amazing in that RB.
My P15, I'll just go through my P15 and 14. I've got both of the Saubers of Joe and then Bottas. I reckon in their kind of season terms, that's not bad, but it's not points.
Not points like last time out. P14 for me, I've got the debutant of Jack Doohan. I'm a bit high on him just because of he's Australian, but I don't think it's going to be anything special.
Yeah.
But it won't be anything bad. Like, he's just going to go out there, drive, and just avoid any crashes.
Yeah. My P13, I've also got, well, you had in P14, but I have in P13. I reckon exact same thing. Goes out there and drives as what he's paid for to do. And, yeah.
Yep. 13th, I've got the first Sauber in Joe Guan Yu. I think it's just going to be
Just
not points, but still a good race in their eyes.
In P12, I've got Lawson and Perez. I reckon Perez just gets ahead of him in 11, but just misses out of points.
Yeah, not good enough.
Not good.
One position from the sister team that's probably 2 times slower.
Yeah.
P12 and 11 for me, I've got Alonso and then Magnussen, who just misses out on the points.
And then Hulkenberg.
And then Hulkenberg in P10. Your P10 is?
Fernando Alonso just scraping into the points, but a not so bad race from him.
No, just average. P9, I've got this driver scoring their first points all year, Valtteri Bottas. I think Sauber are going to keep their heads up high with this form and going to keep, I reckon, get their second points finish. And I think Bottas will want to prove something that he's not the worst driver on the grid.
Yeah. My P9, I've got Pierre Gasly.
And I have him in P8.
And then in my P8, I've got Kevin Magnussen. And in my P7, his teammate, Hulkenberg.
So you've got very close position for 6th. Would Haas take that? I don't know. Anyway, my P7 is Russell, and then followed by Norris in P6.
Yeah. My P6, I've got Norris, who just loses out to Sainz with Russell ahead, and then Piastri, and then Leclerc in second, with Verstappen taking the final winner of the season, just to
wrap up his dominant year.
Well, not so dominant, just
But
good year.
and he's a World Drivers' Championship. It's got to be better than good.
Yeah,
I'll quickly go through my top 5. I've got Leclerc P5 ahead of Norris, but not enough to take the championship. Piastri just off the podium. Verstappen, Hamilton finishes nicely, and someone who finishes even nicer with their team, Carlos Sainz, takes his final win in F1.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Well,
quali
not
predictions now.
Wait, who took your win, sorry?
Sainz.
Final win for Ferrari in F1.
Do you think he's going to win in Williams?
But he might move.
I could. I'll go to quali predictions now. I'll do another quick fire.
Mm-hmm.
P20 not even getting to start because of our thing we think he's going to get like a crash in practice and not going to be able to take part. Kevin Magnussen. Going out with him in Q1 as well is Sonoda, Stroll, Colapinto and Albon. Going into Q2, I've got Fernando Alonso. We've got Doohan, the debutant, Lawson, Hulkenberg and Zhou. Getting into the top 10 shootout for the first time, Valtteri Bottas all year. 9th Perez, 8th Gasly, 7th Piastri, 6th Russell, 5th Norris, 4th Leclerc, followed by his teammate Sainz in 3rd. Verstappen goes 2nd, which means Lewis Hamilton takes his final pole position with Mercedes.
Nice. Now, we're going to go on to our hot takes that we did in episode 1 for now.
We'll go on to your hot takes first.
Yeah.
Will you read them out for us?
So, you can tell this was the start of the season, or 8 races ago, or start of this podcast. My first hot take was that Daniel takes Perez's seat.
Oh my God.
That's aged like fine wine.
It could not be any further away.
Daniel no longer has a seat in F1 and probably will not come back to F1. I did get this next one right. Oscar wins another race.
Yeah.
So I did get that one right.
Yeah.
Ferrari regret their decision to get rid of Sainz.
We don't know that yet.
We don't know that yet. That's probably more for next season. But as of now, probably yeah.
Yes.
And Bottas finishes his F1 career as an F1 driver.
Which is correct.
Correct, yeah.
Yeah.
But this season, so maybe next year.
He could get into Cadillac.
Yeah.
You never know. Now we'll move on to my hot takes. I've got Mercedes finishing 3rd in the Constructors' Championship,
Which they
definitely did
did
not.
not.
I thought their amazing form would keep up from that that Silverstone race, but clearly not.
Yeah.
I actually got this one right. This was one of my hottest takes. Sauber scored points, and it happened.
Yeah.
Just last week, and it was 4 of them as well.
Yeah.
Props to Guan Yu Zhou. Hamilton finishes 4th in drivers' standings, but that obviously didn't happen. What's he now? Yeah, 7th.
So nowhere near.
Nowhere near. I was really high on Mercedes after that summer break, wasn't I? Bottas and Magnussen retire / don't get a seat, which is what happened.
Yeah.
And Ferrari get multiple wins in the second half of the year, which happened.
True.
Alright.
Thank you for listening to this 8th episode and this last season's episode of BWF1 podcast. Thank you all for the support this year, which wasn't much because we don't really get that many views on the podcasts. And we'll talk to you next year for the start of the 2025 season. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and goodbye.